Hey, everybody out there in podcast land. Welcome to the weekend edition of Sports Frenzy 2.0. I'm the maestro, Kevin Crane.
I'm the conquistador, Dave Height.
Welcome, welcome, welcome as we tape here on February the 3rd, 2022. This will hit the morning of the 5th, as always, to get you through your weekend with the best recommendations in music, movies, TV, streaming, and books.
We've got you covered, kids. Listen to us and you can't go wrong.
That is absolutely right. And we're going to have a lot of fun on the weekend edition. We are going to devote almost our entire movie segment to a review of the final Daniel Craig James Bond movie, No Time to Die. But first and foremost,
music.
As always, we always defer to rock and roll. Our mistress, our lover, our lady of the
siren.
Evening. That's right. We've got two
songs. Remember that. Rock and roll. That's foreshadowing, kids.
Yes, because the 2022 Rock Hall of Fame nominees came out. So we're going to go through them in detail coming up in a minute. But we promised you 2 song reviews, and we are men of our word.
Yes, we are. So start with Bryan Adams, Never Gonna Rain, the latest single off his EP.
Yep. Coming out next month, I believe, that whole album. And I have liked everything so far off of that album. Never Gonna Rain, I will say, is still good. Probably the weakest of the 4 songs so far.
Yes, it is. It's still a solid song in its own right, but when compared to the other 3 so far, it does lack a little bit.
I'm not a big gospel person, and it's got a little bit of a gospel feel to it.
Kind of has that little vibe.
Right.
But
and I'm still scared to death that we have not heard the goopy, awful Bryan Adams power ballad yet.
I'm kind of hoping maybe this was it.
If this ends up being the slowest song on the album, it'll be a great album.
Agreed completely.
I will give this 2.5 frenzies.
Yep.
Again, not the strongest song.
No, but it's not horrible. It's listen. You can listen to it, and you're not going to cringe when you hear it. So,
right. And I like the lyrics at the beginning, especially.
Yeah,
the first verse is really good.
Yeah, it hooks you in. All right, Wicked Mind. Mike Campbell, guitarist from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. You can definitely feel the Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers vibe in this song.
Yep, his band, the Dirty Knobs, they've been around for a little bit, so this isn't like a debut single.
No, it's not. It's a nice rock song. It's got a good vibe to it.
Scary, though, like you said, how much it sounds like Tom Petty.
Yeah.
It's really something that made me think about what it is about a lot of these artists who, again, Tom Petty passed away. Other bands that you and I listened to from the 80s where the lead singer is passed on or moved on, and they always try, like Journey. They try to find that guy who can sound exactly like the guy that they just got rid of or just died.
Yeah, but any new music still has the sound.
Yeah.
And that's what you get with Wicked Mind.
Mike Campbell's guitar on Wicked Mind is fantastic.
Oh, it's brilliant.
My problem with the song is that you can tell the lyrics wants to be Tom Petty.
The lyrics
are
lack.
Very generic.
They are.
The lyrics
are what bring
Tom
it
Petty
down.
Is not there.
No.
Tom Petty's usual wit and sarcasm and his smarts are not there.
Yeah, it's missing big time. I can only, listening to it, I could only think what Tom could have brought lyrically to this song to put it over the top.
Absolutely, 100% agree. Without doubt. I will be generous and kind. I will give it 2.5 frenzies.
Yeah,
2.5 is a nice little rockin' tune.
Yeah,
and again, Mike Campbell's guitar work on this is exemplary.
Yeah, but if more effort would have been put into the lyrics, that could have been 3 to 3.5.
Yeah. So now we get to the point we get to every year.
Our aneurysm-inducing Rock and Roll Hall of Fame list, or as we like to now refer it to as the Music Hall of Fame list.
Yes, the 17 nominees, the final cut before the actual nominees that make it get in.
Yeah.
And I am very upset, but Dave is going to go through one by one, and we will discuss in the music section here how we feel about each of these nominees.
Yep. All right. You want to list them or talk about them as we go through the list?
One by one, go through.
Judas Priest.
Should be in. If they don't get in this year, given the lack of other rock bands, as we'll get to,
right,
it'll be a travesty if the Priest don't get in this year.
They've belonged in forever. Again, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They are the epitome of rock and roll.
Again, of what's left on this list. And again, we'll talk about when we get done with the list, people that might have gotten left off.
Right.
All right. Priest should be a lock this year.
Should be a lock. Next up, Devo.
Given who else is coming down the road in this list, Devo, I would be fine with them getting in.
Still too poppy for my liking.
And, well, technically to me, I agree with you. I'm going to back you up on that. Technically, only one song. Really. In my opinion, they have only really gotten here on one song.
One song. Whip It.
Yep.
All right. Pat Benatar.
In.
Should be a
Priest
lock.
and Benatar should be the first two words out of the idiot's mouth who announces who gets in. Priest,
Agreed.
Benatar.
Definitely. All right. God, I don't even want to acknowledge this next group. I fucking hate Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, you and I hate Rage Against the Machine.
We cannot stress our hatred for them enough.
And the sad thing is, they're going to get in at some point. I'm just hoping it's not this year because I have a bad feeling that if they get in, they're going to knock somebody like Benatar out or the Priest out.
Yeah. All right. Kate Bush.
No. I don't understand how Kate Bush gets this kind of these accolades, this acknowledgement. What has she ever done? And she was around when we were younger and listening to music nonstop, 24/7, in our car, at home. Nobody I know listened to Kate Bush.
Nobody I know listened to Kate Bush.
Jesus God, I don't get it.
I don't either.
We'll get to some rap and country stuff later. But at least I can say I know people listen to it.
Right.
Nobody listened to Kate Bush. Nobody. Why are they acting like she's the be-all, end-all? It's like Patti Smith. Patti Smith had one hit doing a remake of a Springsteen song.
Yeah, awful. All right. The Eurythmics.
Not good
rock.
enough. Not good enough.
No.
It's 80s pop.
Yep, exactly.
Next thing you're going to tell me, you're going to put Culture Club in.
Ugh. New York Dolls.
Influential. It's really close with them.
They're
if they got
for
in,
me,
I would not
borderline.
be upset. I would not be upset if they got in.
I could see
but
them
as long
getting
as they don't
in.
knock out Benatar or
the
Priest, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Dionne Warwick.
No! She's not rock and roll! Jesus Christ!
She's not soul.
Walk on by.
No.
Come on!
She's easy listening.
This is music my parents listened to while they were drinking scotch and sodas.
Exactly.
In front of the Victrola. I mean, come on! This is no way, shape, or form anybody, as much as I can admire her and her voice, she's not Rock and Roll Hall of Fame material.
No. Oh, you're gonna love the next one, kids.
Can't wait.
Fela Kuti.
This one.
Fela
You
Kuti.
and I, we can't even figure out.
I
Just when we thought Kate Bush was scraping the bottom of the barrel,
I think we went under the barrel for this one.
Like I said, I think we're talking about reggae.
I don't know.
The dope smoking hippies type of music.
I have no idea. All right, MC5.
Again, like the New York Dolls, very influential.
But not at the expense of Priest or Benatar.
I can't see them putting both the New York Dolls and the MC5 in.
I would put Dolls in before MC5.
It's close. It's close. Boy, yeah, they're both.
They're
reading the books that we have read recently about our bands and who influenced them. Those two bands pop up a lot.
They do. All right. Now we go to first-time nominees. Oh my God, this guy's such a fucking loser. Beck.
They'll put him in at some point.
He's a fucking critical. He's a critic's darling.
As long as he doesn't knock out one of my bands, Benatar or Priest.
I got no.
But again, do you know anybody that listens to Beck?
No.
The only person that I know that listens to Beck is the protege.
And that tells you that it's
my
not
daughter,
rock and roll.
20 years old. I can't. The only song of his I like is Loser.
And I can't even stand that one. I never liked it.
Otherwise, he's a pretentious douchebag. Again, one of those musicians who thinks he's smarter than all the rest of us because of what he does in the scratching and what he does with the microphone.
Yeah, no. Bye-bye. Don't need it. A band that you and I both enjoy, Duran Duran.
In. If we could say it, in. Problem is, I bet they get bumped.
They would get bumped. So they're
because
one,
those are my three.
To me, they're one. As much as I like them, they're borderline the rock 80s pop. They're that line.
I thought you'd be more passionate about this because the three that I want in are Priest, Benatar, and Duran Duran. Those are the three out of the list that I want in. But I'm more passionate about Duran Duran than you are.
I think you might be on the rock front. To me, as much as I love them, I just, in my rock and roll mind, they're kind of borderline.
Okay. No, I can understand that. But I'm going by the rules that are being put forward by the douchebags.
And if they are, then
at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, then I want them in.
If Dionne Warwick is eligible,
then Duran Duran should freaking be in.
Yes.
All right. Eminem.
He'll get in first ballot.
Why?
Because they don't care about us. They care about being credible. You and I know this is not rock and roll.
No. Which really...
An angry white rapper who we've never liked, never listened to.
Where's Vanilla Ice?
Oh, no. Oh, because Eminem's street. Eminem's tough. Eminem's a badass. Eminem, he's got that.
Yeah.
Vanilla Ice is a joke.
All right.
Whatever happened to fun rap? Whatever happened to Tone Loc, Sugar Hill Gang? Why does rap always have to be so angry and militant and nasty? Like Rage Against the Machine, the combination of rap and rock with them.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of it.
All right. Love her music, but she does not belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm sorry, Dolly Parton.
You love her what? You love her what?
Her music.
Her what?
Yes.
Chest? What? David! God damn it! You sexist pig!
Her music, you degenerate bastard. She does not belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Sorry.
No, she's not. It's like Dionne Warwick. I listen.
Phenomenal musician and artist, but they're not.
No, they're not rock.
All right. Lionel Richie.
No, he's not rock. I heard somebody make a really good point about this today. Put the Commodores in first.
Boom!
Put the Commodores in first.
That's what I was waiting
talk about
for.
Lionel Richie.
That's what I was waiting
Fucking
for.
put Brickhouse in.
I want the Commodores in. Lionel Richie is a
He
solo
should
artist.
not get
should
in
not
before
be
the Commodores.
Agreed entirely.
I want Easy. I want Brickhouse in before any of the shit that Lionel Richie put out.
Dancing on the ceiling, really?
We want the Commodores in first before
then
Lionel
we'll
Richie.
have a conversation.
Yes, exactly. But if you're going to do this, do it right. And God damn it, put the Commodores in before Lionel Richie.
Agreed completely. Carly Simon.
No! Why? Because of one Bond theme and one song about Warren Beatty?
Yeah, sorry, Carly. No, you're like a two-hit wonder.
No.
Do not belong. And finally, A Tribe Called Quest.
No! Why?
I don't know. There's some cult following that wasn't there when they first came. I don't get it.
All right, so if you had to pick 5.
Oh, God.
Who you picking?
Do I have to have 5?
Yes, you have to have 5. I will
go Priest, Benatar.
I will agree on both of those.
Duran.
Agreed. 3 for 3.
Then I'll go influential with New York Dolls and MC5.
Now, that's who I would pick. I agree. I would go 5 for 5 with you.
Now who do we think are actually going?
Yes, I would say I will be optimistic with Priest, Benatar.
Now,
Eminem is going to get in.
Yeah. Rage.
I don't know if this is their year or not.
It's going to come down to Quest and Beck.
Oh, God, if they put Beck in. Oh, God. I know Eminem's getting in. I know he's getting in. There's no doubt about that. The sad thing is he's probably the first one in.
Yeah.
Out of everybody.
Rage, Beck, and Quest are...
God. Shoot me, kill me, stab me. What? If I had to pick between them, personally, I'll take Rage.
Oh, God.
Who do I think's getting in? I had a bad feeling that Beck's going to get in.
I know. Then you'll never hear the end of it from the protege.
No, she doesn't like him that much.
Oh,
just because
okay.
she listens to him doesn't mean she's into Radiohead. There's another one.
Oh, for the love of God.
There's another one.
Where did she go off the rails and why?
Yeah. Well, the good thing is this week she told me she's listening to The Replacements. And she's starting to get into The Replacements. So I said, you keep going with that. You keep going down that path, kiddo. Stay away from Radiohead. Start listening to The Replacements.
There you go. I like
Get
that.
some Paul Westerberg Replacements.
Yes, that is fine with me.
Yes.
All right.
There you go. There's our yearly rant. Of course, we will have another one once they announce
the finalists.
The people that actually are getting in.
Ugh.
I've got to run some music news past you and the Conquistador. The one thing to wrap up the Rock Hall of Fame that pissed me off beyond belief, you didn't catch it. Band that's been in there the last couple of years didn't make the cut this year. Would have been a perfect year for them to get in. Iron Maiden.
Oh, God.
Didn't even make the final cut. Because God forbid we would have both Judas Priest and Iron Maiden in the same year.
Two that freaking belong.
Just try to make the cut to maybe get in.
Ridiculous.
Garbage. All right. Billy Idol is out for the entirety of the Journey tour coming up this summer. So Toto has jumped in. They were supposed to be opening the second half of the tour. They will open up the
Yeah.
entire tour now.
Thoughts and prayers to Billy Idol and his health, whatever he's dealing with.
Yep.
Fucking COVID.
We have to take a rock and roll road trip. We're going out to California. Damn those fucking hippie bastards.
I am not going to
Yes, you
goddamn
are,
California.
because we're going to the 50th anniversary of the opening of the Rainbow Bar and Grill.
Oh,
Now remember,
the Rainbow.
David Lee Roth did a song in tribute to Eddie Van Halen about that last
Yeah.
year. Somewhere over the Rainbow Bar and Grill. That is one of the premier hangouts for the 80s rock and roll.
The Rainbow and the Whiskey.
Yep. They have a statue of Lemmy because Lemmy insisted that he get an apartment nearby so he could walk there every day and hang out there. Their 50th anniversary taking place April the 24th, 2022, hosted by Eddie Trunk. Free concert from 1 till 10. 2-drink minimum, of course.
Of course.
Will feature Steel Panther and Stephen Piercy.
Nice. There you go. I'm still not shelling out that kind of money.
It would be nice, though, if we were rich.
If we were rich, that's a no-brainer.
Could drop things in a second at the drop of a hat and go out there. Oh, my God. That would be so much fun.
I said, if I ever hit the mega lottery, I would be the professional fan.
And just, when you get a chance, kids, look up a picture. It looks like the coolest place in the world. It just looks awesome.
It's the dive bar to beat all dive bars.
Yep. Now, we've got to talk about tours. The Conquistador and I and Mrs. C are going to see Sammy Hagar.
Yep. Lock.
With George Thorogood. Now we're also going to see Tom Kiefer with LA Guns and Faster Pussycat. So our summer itinerary is wrapping up.
It's shaping up.
Looking pretty good. Now, Steve Vai, we recently reviewed Little Pretty.
Right.
He has postponed his tour from January all the way back to September.
True.
Get this, because he had an injury due to his pizza oven.
Oh! That means he burned a finger or two.
No, he's had a lot of issues with his shoulder. He had surgery on it. He was pulling a pizza out of the oven, and it got stuck, and he tore tendons in his shoulder.
Jeez.
So
wow.
He had to postpone his tour.
You know, that's almost as bad as Sammy Sosa sneezing and throwing his back out.
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel bad for Steve Vai, though.
Oh, God, that sucks.
Yep. Of course, Dave and I disagreed last week on this whole Neil Young Spotify thing. So now he's got all his hippy-dippy friends following with him, taking their music off Spotify. Joni Mitchell.
Who cares?
Nils Lofgren. Indy Ari. Graham Nash. And CSN. But now...
Is it really that great a loss to Spotify?
I don't think it is. But now the estimates in terms of losses, they're saying that if this ends up snowballing, if this is it, okay. But if we see more and more artists start jumping on the bandwagon, Spotify could lose $2 billion in terms of market value.
Yeah, but if it's all the hippy dippies, does it really matter?
I agree with you. Neil Young is going to end up losing $750,000 a year on this. And of course, Amazon Music had to jump in and say, "Oh, we still got Neil Young. Come over to us. You have to pay for Amazon Music Unlimited, kids."
Exactly. Watch the fine print.
Yep. And SiriusXM, of course, immediately had to put up, "Oh, put our Neil Young exclusive channel back on
Yeah.
for a week.
For a week.
For a week. Stop being lemmings, kids. Kid Rock, on the other hand, we talked about his tour, and we're not happy with the prices. But at least he is saying, I am not going to play any city or any state that forces people to wear masks or get vaccinated.
There you go.
And Joe Rogan now has people backing him up finally. Troy Aikman, Kevin James, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson are all coming out with me, the maestro, saying this is censorship, it's egregious, it's heinous, it's wrong. Neil Young can fuck a duck, get out of my sight, take Cinnamon Girl with you, take Rockin' in the Free World with you, as much as I like those two songs, kiss my ass.
Because we're Americans, and
we have the right to choose what we listen to. You don't have the right to tell us what to listen to. I don't care if Joe Rogan is saying, go ahead and ingest Drano. You should go, that doesn't sound right. I am going to learn more about ingesting Drano. Not, I'm going to do whatever Joe Rogan says. And Neil Young, by the way, this week, it came out, him and Joni Mitchell, these paragons of hippie culture in the height of the AIDS epidemic, Neil Young was using the F word left and right, talking about, I don't want to go into a convenience store and buy something if there's an effing behind the counter, and I'm not having him touch my money. And Joni Mitchell has been in blackface before at Halloween parties. Joni Mitchell has the audacity to say in countless interviews she feels like she's a black man at heart.
Yeah, okay.
There you go, you kids really going to side with these morons?
No. It's hard, and all right, if anybody is dumb enough to listen to Joe Rogan and those idiots that he has on and follow their advice, Darwin Award winner, survival of the fittest.
And again, I said this last week. I'm not saying Joe Rogan's right.
No, I'm just saying he has the right to his platform.
As stupid as whatever he says might be, he has the right to say it, because God forbid they'd pull us off the air.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, there you go.
All right, that's it for the music segment. Coming up next, what
Bond.
You have all been waiting for months and months, as we have as well.
No Time to Die review. Daniel Craig's swan song.
This is going to be fun. I will be intrigued. I will be interested to see what the Conquistador says about this, because he and I have been lifelong, diehard Bond fans.
Yes. This will be an intriguing discussion from both of us, I believe.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back with Bond, James Bond. In the fortress of solitary justice, two brave men hold the fate of the sports world in their hands, with the utterance of a single word: frenzy! These seemingly ordinary men become the maestro and the conquistador, destined to save the world from stupidity on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Apple, and all noble podcast hosts everywhere. Dave and Kev stand for truth, justice, and the frenzy way.
Hey kids, it's the weekend edition of Sports Frenzy 2.0. I'm the Conquistador Dave Height.
Along with the maestro Kevin Crane.
And we're here to keep you warm through this frigid, cold upcoming weekend. Here we are, taping on February 3rd, 2022. This will hit the 5th Saturday morning. The movie segment you've all been waiting for, our review of No Time to Die, Daniel Craig's swan song Bond film.
We will try to do our best, even though it's been out for months and months. We'll still try to be a little subtle in terms of not giving up major plot points, but at some point in time, you got to bite the bullet and realize if you haven't, it took us forever to finally get a hold of copies to watch.
Yeah, so spoiler alert, you might want to fast forward to our final, because there are going to be plot things that we have to discuss.
Right, because Dave and I, as I mentioned in the last segment, are diehard Bond fans, so we've been looking forward to this for a long time, and there are just some things we have to discuss.
Yeah.
And it would be unfair if you weren't in on these discussions.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, kids. It's imperative to our review for some of this stuff to reveal.
And Dave's being nice. He told you, skip to the last segment if you don't want to hear spoilers.
Yeah.
No Time to Die, directed by Cary Joji Fukunaga, whose only really claim to fame is he directed most of the first season of True Detective, which I loved. But I could kind of tell by the pacing of this and the way it was put together that this was not a seasoned veteran like Sam Mendes,
right,
who had done a lot of the previous Daniel Craig Bond movies.
Yeah. The pacing wasn't there, and there were issues I had with the story arc.
I watched this twice. And I'm not going to say I watched it twice because I loved it, but I felt like I owed it.
Like maybe you missed something?
I needed to process it twice, yes.
Yeah, because the long-term revenge underlying in this, I had kind of an issue with.
A lot of the things that you and I had heard about over the last couple years that were rumored to be in this movie
weren't really necessarily there.
Yeah, they were.
Well, they were, but it wasn't as overt.
No, it wasn't overt, but they were all still pretty much there.
Yeah.
And they were horribly done, horribly executed.
Poorly done.
And the main villain didn't end up having anything to do. We were thinking, are they going to bring in Goldfinger? Are they going to bring in one of the great villains from the past? We've already got Blofeld in there.
Yeah, no.
But no, it's just Rami Malek plays Lucifer Safin. And he's got really no connection to the Bond mythology at all.
None whatsoever. This is a revenge flick for him getting even with Blofeld for Blofeld killing his family.
Blofeld and Olo Spectre.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm sorry, but the opening sequence with Blofeld's wife and daughter that he comes a-calling. And what the hell winds up being the relationship between Safin and Madeline?
Well, it's not Blofeld's wife and daughter.
Or whoever it was.
Mr. White.
Mr. White, yeah.
Yeah. Who was an assassin for Spectre.
But still, what the hell is the whole relationship there between them? Made absolutely no freaking sense.
Yeah, the problem is Bond gets pulled into this whole mess through no fault of his own, other than Blofeld has a vendetta for him. I was into the movie for the first half an hour. I thought the opening sequence was really good.
Oh, I love the opening sequence. And
we
then
got the old tricks. We got the Aston Martin with the bombs. Oh my God. And the guns.
The bombs, the guns, the bulletproof.
Yeah. And we're thinking this is going to be an old school Bond movie.
And then it went off the rails.
And then it seems like somebody took Daniel Craig as James Bond and said, we're going to cut your balls off now.
Yeah, pretty much.
There are so many down periods in this movie, and they try to make it almost like a Bond Harlequin romance at times.
I love seeing Felix come back in, but not the way it was done.
Yeah, Felix Leiter is always the guy that is an impetus for Bond going on a rager.
Yes.
If you go back to Timothy Dalton and License to Kill, you'll know what we're talking about. Anytime you fuck with Felix in a bad way, Bond gets really mad. Because as he says in this, I lost my brother. His name was Felix Leiter.
Yeah. So you got that going, and I don't know.
I do love Christoph Waltz as Blofeld.
Oh, he's brilliant as Blofeld. But my problem is the whole fucking eye. Are you telling me MI6 is that fucking stupid that they didn't catch that?
Yeah, not only he's got one, and his cronies got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, there are issues I had with this film.
Well, that makes me feel better
script.
Because I felt like when I told you that I was going to rewatch it, because I'd already watched it once before you got a hold of it.
Yeah.
And I told you I was going to rewatch it. I felt like I was almost saying, by telling you I was rewatching it, I liked it.
I never know with you.
Yeah.
So I didn't take that one way or the other.
I was not, like you said, I was trying to process, number one, the end of the Daniel Craig era and some of the plot points. I wanted to watch it again to see if I'd missed something, or maybe it would give me a little more gravitas or a little bit of I was expecting to really, at the end of this, get all emotional. And it was like, nothing. I was like, this is not how I'm supposed to feel with Daniel Craig, the second best Bond ever, calling it
his swan song.
Right.
I know. I know it was kind of a letdown.
Yeah. Yep, it was.
It was a cop-out. Yep. It was a major cop-out.
I think that's a good way to put it. It's a cop-out. It's a cop-out.
Completely.
And I'll tell you this. You go through the credits, and you get the traditional message at the end.
Bond
I'm
will
going to tell the Broccoli family, don't make promises you can't keep. Because how are you going to pull this off now? How are you going to pull this off now? You didn't say 007 will return.
No, you said
James Bond will return.
I will be very interested to see how this comes to pass. So
that's why I'm saying, going back to earlier, talking about our fears for this movie for the last couple of years and what we'd heard, this is what I was worried about.
Yeah, but
and it did happen.
They gave 007 the number to a different agent because they
has no personality.
Oh my God, she was abysmal.
Charisma. I like Paloma.
Paloma had some freaking class and had more excitement.
Was so much cooler. That was the best part of the movie when her and Bond.
Yeah, Paloma and Bond going through Cuba, taking on all the.
And she's downing martinis. I've been training for 3 weeks.
3 weeks. My God, Paloma was great. Nami was a fucking stick.
Oh my God.
She was a damn robot. There was no personality out of her.
And this again is what I'm saying. This is what I feared. Was that they were going to do this and they were going to play this game with 007, not 007, 007, not 007. And she's awful. She is awful.
She had no business being in this movie.
None
whatsoever.
I'll tell you what, I love the surrounding cast from the past movies. I love Moneypenny. I love Q. I love M. I love Ray Fiennes as M. Is awesome. Mallory.
A couple
times.
Mallory. What are you doing, Mallory?
It's like when your mom would call you out by your middle name. Mallory.
And only
Kevin Gerald Crane, what are you doing?
And Bond, he's not an agent with him anymore. He's allowed.
But yeah, Ray Fiennes did a great job.
Fiennes is always awesome, though.
Yeah, and Q's great. Moneypenny's great.
Moneypenny was
but again,
brilliant, but this Nami was just
yeah, terrible.
God awful, horrible.
And I'm
Madeline
sorry.
had more charisma.
And I didn't even like her that much.
Neither did I.
You know? As long as she didn't smile. The minute she smiled and she had
It's
the
like,
David Letterman teeth, I was like, all I could think of is where we're getting stupid human tricks.
Exactly.
No, she's, oh. And then at the beginning, you again have these conflicting things because, okay, he loves Madeline, but Vesper, he's still torn
pines.
with Vesper, still pines for Vesper, and that's what starts the whole thing off and gets him into trouble.
Yeah. Oh.
And how did you not see when he first hooks up with Felix Leiter and brings in this Ash guy?
You knew right from the beginning that he was trouble.
Yeah. But he smiles too much.
Oh my God.
He smiles too much. Because he's an evil double agent. Jesus Christ. Anybody
with a brain could see that. You're killing me, Felix.
Yeah, that's the thing. Who's dumber, Bond or Felix?
Getting sucked in.
Both of them getting sucked in. I guess Bond at least trusts Felix, so Felix is the one, in the end, that's really the dumbass.
Right.
So many things to talk about with this movie. I mean, that's why I wanted to devote almost this entire segment to this. And again, Rami Malek, I love him as an actor. I really do.
But this was one of the worst Bond villains of all time.
Actually, can't dispute that. Can't dispute that.
It was so generic.
That's perfectly said. He is generic. There is no menace to him whatsoever.
No. Ooh, he talks quiet and slow.
Yes.
That's all he has going for him, along with the stupid mask.
Yeah, the kabuki mask. What the hell is that all about? And of course, we find other things out about James Bond.
And Madeline, blah, blah, blah.
Jeez, I was so disappointed in this.
Is there a way to do 2 ratings for this one?
I know. I'm like you. I really was torn on this because as a Bond fan, I would give it 1 rating. As a movie in general, I'd give it another.
Yeah, I would do it on 2. 1, the overall frickin' story, and another just on the action sequencing.
But there weren't that many action sequences.
There weren't enough.
That's what killed the movie for me.
It started off so well, and once you got through Cuba,
and I saw a review where somebody said, "Oh, typical Bond with all the gadgets." What fucking gadgets?
There was 1 fucking gadget outside of the car.
Outside of the Aston Martin,
you had a fucking watch.
Yeah, that was it. The EM watch, the AMP watch. That's all you had. There were no fucking tricks. There were no fucking gadgets.
No.
It was an emotional Harlequin romance starring James Bond for the most part.
Yeah.
There were a lot of car wrecks, okay? They did a great job wrecking cars. I'll give them that.
Yeah. And lots of bullets fired.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, that's why I wanted to bring up the first thing was the director. Because I think the problem is you hand the final Daniel Craig James Bond performance.
You give Ferrari keys to a 16-year-old first-time driver.
After you let Sam Mendes build all this up through Skyfall, which I was not a huge fan of, through Spectre, which I did like, and then you go, okay.
And you cop out with this.
This namby-pamby.
This was disappointing on so many freaking levels.
I will give it 2.5.
Overall?
Overall. My rating is 2.5 frenzies because I know I am too passionate and too involved in this. I'm trying to be diplomatic.
as a Bond movie, I'm giving it 2.
It is one of the worst Bond movies. It is one of the worst Bond movies.
It is by far. As
it's not as bad
as outside of being a Bond, as a movie, I might go 2.5. So I think
it's not
maybe
as bad.
2.5 overall is what I would have to.
It's not as bad as the latter Roger Moore stuff, which everybody ridicules. The Octopussy.
Oh, God. Or Never Say Never.
But you know what I missed? And I never thought I would say this. I really missed watching this. I was like, God, I almost missed the Pierce Brosnan ones. Just the lighthearted, goofy, fun. I just want a little bit more. Because these Daniel Craig movies have been
were a little
so
dark.
serious and so dark.
Yeah,
and you need no let up, and there's
you
no
need
humor.
A little levity and humor.
It's not even close.
No.
The Sean Connery movies had the perfect balance.
They were a good balance of
the gadgets, the fun, the wit.
Yeah,
but they were violent. They had a little darkness to them.
Roger Moore's
the first half
had a decent balance, and then they went to shit.
Right. Timothy Dalton, first one sucked.
Second one was awesome
because it went dark.
Yep. And then I never liked any of the Brosnans. I just didn't. They were too much of a joke.
No, I never loved any of them, but
they were too much the campy Roger Moores.
Yeah, I know, but I honestly don't know where they're going to take it from here. But I'm glad they ended this because I could not take any more of this deep, dark, depressed James Bond.
Yeah.
It just went south for me.
It rambled on too long.
Daniel Craig will still be my second favorite James Bond of all time after Sean Connery. But and a lot of this is not criticisms of him.
No, it's the writing.
It's the writing. It's what they put him through, the hoops, stupid hoops that they put him through.
The emotional roller coasters.
Yeah. And you've put forth a lot of criticisms. Generic villain in this one. And I've said I think it's too namby-pamby romancy at times, too slow at times, not enough action.
Where are our fun gadgets?
Yep. Basically Q is relegated to looking at video screens.
Yeah, Q is relegated to being looking up information and running the show via video screen. That's not what he does.
Right. And hell, you could say that about M too. M's sitting there looking at video screens all the time with a scotch in his hand.
Yeah.
Acting like, he's about ready to kill himself because of the mess he's made.
Yeah.
With Heracles. Now, that was the one thing I did like about the movie that ended up being more timely.
The weaponized.
Well, because if you think about when the movie was made, it was made before COVID. It was kind of, that part of it was kind of heralding the world we live in now.
Yeah. The whole, I like the weaponized nanobots targeting people by DNA.
And that's another reason why I had to watch it twice. Is because I had to make sure I understood the chain of who touched who was infected with whose DNA. So that's another reason I had to watch it a second time.
Yeah.
Was to make sure that they didn't screw something up there. Because the first time I'm watching it, I'm taking it all in.
Like
second time I've got to watch it and I'm watching.
But then now, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Heracles is all dependent on who touches it and whose DNA is encoded in that particular strain of Heracles.
Right, because you can be infected and it won't mess with you because your DNA isn't there. But if you get a strain with the DNA that it will impact, if you touch that person, then you've just killed them.
Okay, we've talked about the main villain, Rami Malek. The stupid doofus scientist.
Oh my God, what the fuck was his deal?
He was even worse.
Oh my God.
And this guy's the linchpin in the whole story.
And he's a dipshit.
He's like somebody out of Monty Python.
Yeah. Yakov Smirnoff.
There you go. Yeah.
That's who it was.
Basically, yeah, he's a caricature of a Russian scientist.
Yeah.
A goofy, comedic caricature of a Russian scientist. And this guy supposedly holds the fate of the world in his hands.
That was pathetic.
Yeah. I will, again, be a little more generous than you. I'll go 2.5. But I'm happy that you agree with me on most of these points. Because I was worried that you were going to come in here guns blazing going, oh my God, I love this.
No, I did not love it at all.
No, it's very disappointing.
I wanted to like it, and as I'm watching, I'm like, I got issues with this. And the more I thought about it, it's like, no, nope. They fucked it up.
Yep. All right. Sorry to give you the bad news on Bond, kids. Of course, everybody's praising it and giving it award nominations.
No, it doesn't deserve
true Bond
it.
fans, I don't think.
No.
And I have seen
Daniel
some
Craig,
reviews.
again, still solid as Bond. And outside of him, I think the other best character is Paloma.
Yep. And that almost seemed random. They just seemed like, okay, let's throw Ana de Armas in there for 20 minutes, with her boobs hanging out. And
she's pretty.
But she was awesome.
She was phenomenal in those action sequences.
When they were, hope to meet you again sometime. Bond with a very casual handshake. Yeah, come back real soon.
Y'all take care now. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll be sleeping with Ben Affleck. Who knows? Speaking of Ben Affleck, it is time for my review of The Tender Bar.
Yay!
Yep. Took me a couple weeks, but I finally did get through it. Of course, again, when I got a hold of Bond, that kind of threw things for a loop on my schedule. So I had to watch Bond before I finished up The Tender Bar. But I did finish The Tender Bar. I will say this. I am a Ben Affleck fan. I am one of the few out there, the proud, that don't think the guy is a douchebag. I think he's a lucky man. I think he's a damn lucky man.
Yeah. He's fallen ass backwards into a lot of
the Armas. Casual fling.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Garner. Jennifer Lopez. Wow.
Yeah.
And of course, how can you not love him as Uncle Charlie?
Right?
That is the guy you want in your life. That you need that guy in your life.
Yeah.
Father or not, if you got a great father,
or
you
in this case,
Charlie.
your dad's a douchebag.
Right. Yeah. And I thought that was a little overwrought. They made him so despicable. The father was such a jackass that it was almost too much.
But based on the memoir, maybe he was. There are assholes like that out there.
I know. But Ben Affleck as Uncle Charlie was fantastic.
And the whole crew in the bar.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing. When you find a place like that, when you find people like that, there's nothing better. Yeah. Dave and I can attest to it.
Yes.
We used to have our place. They took it away from us, and we've been bitter ever since.
Exactly.
But now beyond that, I had problems with the movie. I did not like Ty Sheridan as the grown-up kid.
No, he
had no charisma. And like Uncle Charlie's trying to tell him, why do you keep chasing after this girl? She's dumped you 9 times.
All she's doing is using you.
Yep. And I did have to look this up because I got a little bit flustered with the fact that Lily Rabb, who plays his mom, I was like, they look like they're almost identical in age. How is she his mother? I had to look this up. Ty Sheridan's 25. Lily Rabb is 39. So it's still a little creepy.
It's a little creepy, but close. But I can't stand Lily Rabb.
Yeah, she got a nice rack. But other than that,
she's
yeah. Christopher Lloyd plays Christopher Lloyd, which take it for what you will.
Yeah.
At times endearing, at times just stupid.
Yeah. There were a couple moments where, yeah, it's good that he was there, but for the most part, not needed.
Yeah. So Ben Affleck was the saving grace of this movie to me. If it wasn't for him, I think this would have been a train wreck. But with Ben Affleck playing Uncle Charlie, playing that role,
I like the kid, the younger
version.
The younger version. That
he was good. I can only give it 2 frenzies, though. I really can only give it 2. And I'm a sucker. I am a diehard sucker for a great coming of age movie. Those are one of my favorite genre of movies. Is watch Stand By Me.
Yeah.
One of those type of movies.
But Ty Sheridan just kind of killed it.
I didn't like him at all. I really didn't like him at all. I just didn't.
His college friends.
Charisma.
His college friends had more character.
And I didn't even like them.
No, they were kind of
Yeah. So I can only give it 2. Didn't hate it.
There you go.
Again, big Ben Affleck shout out, but other than that.
There you go.
All right. Movie news here, a wrap up. Second segment here. I have still got to watch Fast and Furious 9. I made a big deal about a couple years ago about ripping through all the Fast and Furious movies, and now I've stalled out. I haven't watched FF9 yet, but Jason Momoa will be the villain in Fast and Furious 10. A lot of people are joking about, so we're going to have underwater cars now.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, we went to space. Why not go undersea? Are we going to get the James Bond Lotus?
Sony is still pushing forward. Good for them. Saying we're just going to keep building on the Spider-Man mythology because we don't have to share it with Disney.
Thank God.
So now they're going deep into the Spider-Man mythology. Madame Web is the next movie coming. Dakota Johnson is in final negotiations to play Madame Web.
Intriguing.
But I'm with you. They got Kraven the Hunter coming out. They got Morbius coming out. Just do it. Just bit like they did with Batman. Build on the villains. Build on the whole mythology.
Nick, my youngest, is so dying to have a Spider-Man Kraven the Hunter square off. He thought this last one would have been perfect to have Kraven the Hunter coming after him.
And I've always said there are so many great, like Batman, so many great Spider-Man villains that this is smart on Sony's part because they've got the Scorpion, the Shocker. They have so many cool villains out there. Rhino, they never got that right.
No.
Finally, Scream, the reboot, did so well, they are going to do a sequel.
Why not?
But
make the money. Ugh. Although, we're also gearing up for Uncharted, the movie with...
Now, is Tom Holland Nathan Drake?
Yes, Tom Holland is playing Nathan Drake.
So who is Mark Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg is Victor Sullivan, his buddy.
Okay.
And cohort.
Okay. I have mixed feelings about this movie. So, it's not something I'm dying to see.
The boys and I have played all 4 of the games. It looks intriguing enough. We're going to see it.
All right. There you have it. So we'll have a review of Uncharted coming up here very soon.
Yep.
For right now, third segment coming up, TV and streaming, we have a review of The Last Jack Reacher book and looking forward to tomorrow, the debut of Reacher on Amazon Prime. We will talk more about that.
Stay tuned.
Now that we've let you into Frenzy Club, here are 3 rules. 1. You don't talk about Sports Frenzy 2.0. You listen to it on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Apple, and all other major podcast hosts. 2. 2 guys to a show. Kev and Dave, the Maestro and the Conquistador. 3, one Sports Frenzy episode at a time. Until Saturday, when you get the weekend edition. Now get in there and let loose on some PC wussbags, will ya?
What is up? Welcome to the last, final segment for this week on the weekend edition of Sports Frenzy 2.0. I am the Maestro, Kevin Crane.
I'm the Conquistador, Dave Height.
We have spent a lot of energy on Bond. We have spent a lot of energy on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but we are still here for you to get you through your weekend. We've still got TV and streaming to talk about. We've got books to talk about. First and foremost, we have to look back, as we do every week, at the latest episode of Peacemaker.
Monkey Dory. God,
Team bonding.
Team bonding over Hanoi Rocks. I love the musical references and the soundtrack to this show.
It was nice to see Harcourt smiling.
Yeah, actually enjoying herself.
Yes. And of course now, 6th episode hit today. We're going to find out what is going on with the butterflies. And now we've got an infiltrator who is going to hopefully explain
what
the hell he's
God's
doing.
green earth is going on here.
Yep.
But
still, as always, awesome. Have not been disappointed yet by Peacemaker.
No. For having so many concerns and not wanting to watch it.
The character had no depth in Suicide Squad. None whatsoever.
None. And really didn't have a lot of depth in the first episode. It was the surrounding cast, but Peacemaker is getting there as a character. Starting to like him a little bit more. Still not as much as Vigilante.
No, I love Vigilante too. I love Vigilante.
But I have not been disappointed. I have been pleasantly surprised throughout, and it does not let you down.
And of course, I'm shocked and dismayed that I thought Dave and I were going to be reviewing Resident Alien, but he is still catching up.
My kids have let me down trying to get caught up from season 1. We were waiting for them. They have bailed on us, and so now Mrs. C and I are trying to play catch up here. So maybe next week we can do the first 2.
Yep. I will just say this. Lenny Briscoe from Law and Order. That's all I'm going to say. Dong dong.
Dong dong.
Shocking to no one because it's a ratings bonanza, but Yellowstone has been renewed on Paramount Network for a 5th season. Duh.
Like you didn't see that coming a mile away.
You've still got to catch up on that.
Yep, we'll get there eventually.
It looks like the CW will renew The Flash for a 9th season, but I'm thinking this could be the last one.
It would have to be. Are you going to bother with it?
Oh, I stopped watching it. No, I could not put up the PC crap anymore. The CW's PC crap drives me nuts. Can't stand it. I will watch if they do go forward with the Winchesters. I will watch that.
If they keep it in the same vein that Supernatural was.
Right.
They can't PC the shit out of it.
Speaking of the CW, kind of a tie-in, the villains for Titans Season 4 have been announced.
Oh, do tell.
And there is a tie-in with Arrow Season 2. Brother Blood will be one of the villains in Titan Season 4.
Hold on, let me write that down.
You got to pass that along.
I got
to
to
the
pass
boys.
that info.
Well, there are 2 other ones. Brother Blood, Mother Mayhem, and Jinx are the 3 villains that will be driving Dick Grayson crazy in season 4 of Titans.
Brother Blood, Jinx, and Mother Mayhem?
Yep.
Nice.
Season 4 cannot come too soon, as that is one of my favorite,
Titans
if not
is
my favorite
brilliant.
shows. Now, on the downside, you've got Paramount Plus, again, proving to us that we know Hollywood has no creativity anymore. Paramount Plus is, we're going to start working on an update on Flashdance and an update on Urban Cowboy.
Why?
Because they don't have any new ideas.
God.
They're creatively bankrupt.
And they're picking 2 god-awful movies. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Ugh.
Now, I told you this week, I finally, please forgive me, podcast audience, I know I'm way behind on this, but I finally started watching The Boys. And not just looking down on my lap. I'm talking about actually watching the show called The Boys on Amazon Prime.
And I'm so close to getting my 2 to watch with me.
Because you got season 3 coming up here in the spring. Now, here's the other thing. Starting March the 4th, dropping all episodes, an animated offshoot in the Boys universe called The Boys Diabolical.
Intriguing.
So, kind of like, you probably don't remember back, you weren't a Matrix guy like I was.
Yeah, not a fan.
The Animatrix was kind of a cool animated offshoot of the Matrix universe.
See, now I had more appreciation for the Animaniacs.
Oh, God. God. Of course you did, Dave. Of course you did.
All right. I need to wrap up Discovery Plus, season 1 of Alaskan Killer Bigfoot, which was this tribe of folks in Alaska wanting to go back to where their ancestors had been driven out of in Portlock, Alaska. Bigfoot was supposedly killing hunters, and anybody who walked into the woods, their mangled bodies would be found all over the place, if found at all. Well, 70 years have passed, and this group from the new village has gone in to see, can we reestablish ourselves there? And through 8 episodes, trying to figure out what's going on, they thought maybe they came to terms. Not really. It was okay, intriguing, kind of generic setup. Fucking Ghost Mine. Look it up. It stage reality shit. I don't know. I'll give Alaskan Killer Bigfoot 2 for being mildly entertaining. Really? It kind of had that feel here and there in some parts, but others not. I don't know. It's hard to tell. The other one, 2 seasons of the Alaskan Triangle. Kind of a, what's going on? Why do people go missing? Season 1 was decent. Season 2 completely sucked and went off the rails. It's a stretch to try and blame all this stuff on the Alaskan Triangle. Season 1, like I said, is entertaining. Avoid season 2. I will not be going back if they do a season 3.
Wow, disappointing on both fronts.
It was. I had high hopes for these and came away wanting.
Well, what you need to do, Dave, is you need to start watching WWE. Because it's time for my recap of the Royal Rumble from last Saturday. Dave loves it when I talk about wrestling.
Wrestling!
I had a good time watching this. 4 hours. 4 hours.
Oh, my God.
And again, because now it's on Peacock, it doesn't cost that much. So $5 a month. I'm all in. Elimination Chamber coming up in 3 weeks. Ronda Rousey makes her return after almost 3 years.
Good Lord.
Comes in, kicks the crap out of all the women, wins the Royal Rumble. So she gets a shot at her champion of her choosing. Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, who will it be?
If you're gonna be the best, you gotta beat the best. Woo!
Yes, Charlotte. The thing is, Charlotte looks like her dad. So that kind of...
Yeah.
I mean, she's still not terrible looking, but...
You can tell she's a Flair.
Yeah. And then Becky Lynch is basically sleeping married to Seth Rollins, so...
Yeah.
Kind of off limits. But Ronda Rousey, I forgot, she's kind of stacked.
Yeah, more so than you would think.
Then, of course, on the men's side, they manipulated things as they always do in wrestling. I know. Where Brock Lesnar lost his title to Bobby Lashley, but then shows up at the end in the men's Royal Rumble and wins the title shot. Yeah. So Lesnar will now get a shot at either Roman Reigns or Bobby Lashley. Everybody's anticipating this is going to be the big, massive showdown we've been waiting for years. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, knockdown, drag out at WrestleMania. So
there you go.
It was fun. I had a good time watching it.
I'm happy for you.
No, you're not. You've lost your innocence. You have lost what you remember when you were a child watching The Ultimate Warrior and Bret the Hitman Hart and Roddy Piper and Hulk Hogan. The fun you had watching them.
With Mean Gene caught in the middle of everything. God rest his soul.
Now it's Tony Schiavone on AEW who's the one that's doing all that. Yeah. I have to bring this up, even though this is technically not really. It's TV-ish. Yes, but happy to see CNN still going down in flames. As their president, Jeff Zucker, has to resign. I did not disclose that I was having inappropriate relations with
one of my
closest confidants. This coming after the whole mess with Chris Cuomo. And of course, we saw this years ago with Fox News, and they made the movie Bombshell out of it. This is just what I want you people to take out of this. The fact that you can't trust the media.
Goddamn Ted Turner to hell for starting the 24-hour news cycle. The abomination that has destroyed America.
I really want to make t-shirts with Dave's face on them saying, damn Ted Turner to hell.
He's the prick that's responsible for every made-up news story. There you go. And that's what they've done. How long did they talk about, 10 years ago? Talking about a recession. There was no recession until they created it.
Yep.
Manipulated and manufactured it.
We will never, ever, ever come together until we stop listening to all of these idiots. Fox,
they do
CNN,
not report news. All you get are their fucking stupid ass opinions that don't mean shit.
And it's not just them. It's Deadline.com. It's all these websites. People thinking that celebrities matter. Their opinions about politics.
They don't.
Leonardo DiCaprio knows shit about shit. Okay? Get over it. He knows nothing. He tells you he cares about the climate when he's flying in private planes and taking private yachts all across the globe. They don't care about you or me or anybody except themselves. Get over it. You know what we need, Dave? You know who we need to send to CNN to kick some ass?
Jack Reacher?
Jack Reacher! Tomorrow! Finally!
Finally!
Amazon Prime, the debut of Reacher.
Oh, so excited for this. Based on the first novel, Killing Floor. Oh, cannot wait.
Yep. Our buddy from Titans is starring as Reacher. He is physically perfect as opposed to Tom Cruise.
Joke!
The movies were good.
I don't give a shit. I
They
am
were
not
good.
suspending my disbelief.
But we've got Hawk from the Titans starring as Jack Reacher.
Yep.
Hopefully more than just one
from
episode
Blood
tomorrow.
Drive.
Yes. One of the most underappreciated, underrated sci-fi series ever.
Oh, so good.
Blood Drive is awesome. And of course, the woman who starred with him is in Animal Kingdom.
Yes.
Which,
yes, she is.
Yes. In all her glory.
Yes. She's
It's
pretty.
an unbelievable. If you've never seen Blood Drive, I think you might be able to still watch it on Sci-Fi online.
Yeah. It's worth checking out, kids.
It's awesome. Every episode was a play on a horror or sci-fi genre.
Yep. It's a race across the country.
It's like a Mad Max Death Race
Yeah.
hybrid.
Yeah. It's a car race across the country in cars powered by blood. Hence, Blood Drive.
And it's awesome. It's awesome. It's gory.
It's
fun.
campy.
Yep.
It's great.
But cannot wait till next week. Well, we will give you our review of at least the first episode.
Yeah,
depending on how many drop tomorrow on Amazon.
And how many we can get through.
Oh, I'll get through all of them. I'll get through all of them. Trust me. I've been looking forward to this for a long, long time. And the thing is that, I don't know if we've talked about this, the scene they show in the trailer where he's sitting there eating and the cops break in.
Oh, the opening of the book.
But that makes me look back at the second Tom Cruise Reacher movie. That's how that starts. Where they break in, he's sitting there eating in a diner.
Yeah.
And they want to arrest him. So I'm wondering now, looking back at that, if that was an homage to the first book.
Could have been.
Even though it was based on a later book.
Yeah.
Never look back, never go back.
Yeah.
But again, why do I? You're not.
I'm never going to watch them.
I know you're not going.
So what do I give a shit?
You're such a bitter man.
Yes, I am.
This is not like Will Smith playing James West.
No, it's worse.
No, it is not. That was the worst. That was the worst ever. James West is not Will Smith. James West is Robert Conrad. Knock these batteries off my shoulder, bitch.
Yeah, and Jack Reacher is not fucking Tom Cruise.
I agree.
Same No.
The only way we can resolve this, the only way we resolve this is to review the latest Jack Reacher novel.
There we go.
Better Off Dead.
Oh.
Lee and Andrew Child. Of course, this came out late last year. Dave's mad because he's read 10 books since then.
I had to go back for our synopsis of it. One of the better villains in the Reacher series, in Dendoncker.
Yes. I know it sounds ridiculous when we say it, but I agree with Dave. It's actually a very cool villain.
Yeah. The way it's written and the way he is, he's one of the coolest villains out there.
I thought Better Off Dead.
Outside of Safin from frickin' No Time to Die.
Dave and I are still bitter about that. I will actually say this. This is one of the better Reacher novels I have read in a long, long time.
I agree.
And I am not a big fan of when they start bringing in, now it's Lee and Andrew Child.
Right. We had issues with the last one, with Andrew taking part. You could tell who wrote what parts.
Right.
This one was more seamless.
I had one issue. I will give it 3.5 frenzies. I loved it that much. But I had one issue. And I could, what you're talking about with the writing style. At the end. At the end, every time they're asking questions to somebody to expose this plot point or explain why this happened. If you look, it's like a drinking game. You could actually do a drinking game in the last 40 pages. Correct. So why did somebody correct? What? Nobody says that. Nobody says, Dave, am I ugly?
Correct.
No, you wouldn't say that.
No, I wouldn't.
No,
nobody says that.
No, you would say, yeah, you're fucking ugly, Kev. You wouldn't.
Why don't
correct.
I just get some cookie dough, put your face in it, we'll make some gorilla cookies.
Say correct.
No, nobody says correct.
And I found.
See, I don't read the back stuff after.
It just drove me crazy. I
don't read the interviews.
And it wasn't just one character who answered like that. It was multiple characters.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
If it was one person who responded like that all the time, okay.
That's one thing. But when it was
other characters responding the same, correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now
that's like somebody checking boxes as they're going down their outline of how they're writing the book.
Yeah. Yeah,
that was the one problem I had. Was that you could literally, if you made a drinking game out of how many times they said correct in the last 40 pages, you would be out like a light before you got to the end.
Yeah. No,
but that was my only criticism. Only criticism.
No, it was one of the better storylines. The pacing was phenomenal.
Yes. And again, Dave, of course, reads 5 books a day. You know, he reads 3 while he's on the toilet in the morning. If I read a book slowly, that means I like it. If I get through it quickly, or I give it up, obviously that's a bad sign.
See, if I go through a book quickly, I absolutely love it. If it takes me a while to get through, I'm so on it.
No, see, I like to absorb the book. So
see,
I can't blow through it because then I feel like I'm cheating it if I'm really liking it.
See, that's not how I am. I am so into it and absorbed in the story to go through.
No, that's why it takes me forever to get through a James Lee Burke novel, is because I get so in depth and so immersed in the details that it takes me forever. And of course, I have not finished the last one because I've got to be a focused individual on those details, on everything the writer is giving me. If I hate it, or if I don't care that much, I'll blow through it. Like as much as I hate, as much as I love Spencer, I can tell right now I just started the new Spencer novel, Bye Bye Baby, with Ace Atkins. I'll blow through it because it just already feels like it's like eating a Twinkie, you know, it's like familiar, comfortable, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be anything out of the ordinary or different than a typical Spencer mystery. So I found this Better Off Dead an exemplary Reacher novel. That's why it took me a long time to get through it.
Well, there you go.
So 3.5 frenzies for Better Off Dead.
I concur completely.
And now we've got the TV show.
Hopefully it will live up to what we have built it to be in our head.
Boy, if this lets us down, this will really suck balls.
I'm going to be so pissed.
After you'll go back and watch the
I will not watch the goddamn Tom Cruise movies.
Yes, you will.
No, I will not. I will not on principle alone.
I might just watch them tonight just to piss you off.
Have fun with you and Tom.
Well, considering the fact they keep pushing Mission Impossible back, I think Mission Impossible 7's now due in 2047.
It's Mission Impossible to think Tom Cruise is
Have
Reacher.
you ever watched any of those?
I have. They're not bad.
They're awesome. They are awesome. They are the movies that these Bond movies should be. They're fun, more stunts, more action.
There you go. Maybe they need to get that director.
Telling you. I am sorry that we were so down on Bond this week, kids, but we care a lot about Bond. And I am sad to think about the future of where this franchise is going to go. I don't know
this was
how it can go.
Such a letdown. And yeah, I'm scared.
I think that the franchise is done. I don't know how you can bounce back from this. I don't know how you can.
I don't see it. They would have to come up with something.
You'd have to do prequels.
Spectacular.
You're going to have to do prequels.
Or do stuff in between. I don't know.
Because I cannot see. And again.
Or you're going to have to come up with one hell of an explanation.
The quote-unquote new 007 was so boring.
Oh, she was awful.
So bad.
There's nothing redeeming about her at all.
No. She had one decent moment where she killed the obnoxious Russian scientist.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Whoop-de-doo.
So.
All right.
That is it for the weekend edition of Sports Frenzy 2.0. I am the maestro, Kevin. Bryan.
We have one big moment of silence.
Oh my God, yes, we do. Dr. Johnny Fever, I'm so sorry.
Howard Hessman, WKRP in Cincinnati, head of the class.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I get so wrapped up in the weekend edition, I completely forget the format from regular Sports Frenzy, so I always forget moments of silence and our dumbasses.
Yeah.
I apologize. So
that's why I'm here, to keep you on track.
So we've still got stuff coming then. Yeah, Howard Hessman. We have to give thoughts and prayers. Also, John Zazula, the founder, one of the co-founders of Megaforce Records, passed away, where Metallica got their start. If it wasn't for John Zazula, we might not have Metallica.
God forbid.
And then the drummer for America, Willie LaCox.
Yep.
I hope I'm saying that right.
LaCox? I don't know.
He passed away as well. We do have two dumbasses. Again, Dave brought me in. I was ready to quit.
Major dumbasses.
I was ready to quit. I was ready to call it.
Can we put Whoopi Goldberg on our 12-seated plane?
Yes. 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 Right behind the pilot.
The Sports Frenzy plane of doom.
Thank God they actually had the guts to suspend her.
No kidding.
After these stupid remarks. And, of course, the idiot at CNN, Don Lemon's backing her up.
The guy's an idiot.
For saying that the Holocaust was not about race.
What?
I thought the whole thing was they were trying to create the master race.
Oh, my God. Whoopi is such a twit. And to their credit, her co-hosts tried.
Joy Behar didn't. Joy Behar just ignored
Joy Behar's an idiot, and I discount her. But the others at least tried to give her an opportunity to pull herself out of the hole she kept digging herself. That whole show is a disaster anyway.
And it shows you, again, the hypocrisy of whoever you side with politically, you're either going to get vilified or you're going to get a pass.
Yeah. This is a semi-pass. Because anybody else...
Again, they suspended her.
Yeah. They suspended her for 2 weeks. Anybody else would have been gone.
Right.
Completely gone.
And then I have one, again, politically motivated. The Masked Singer.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God forbid. Rudy Giuliani is one of the contestants, and he takes his mask off.
And Robin Thicke and Ken Young
walk off.
Yeah. Shame on those two assholes.
Yeah. You make everything political, fuck you.
Suck it up, you asshats.
Yeah, Ken Young hasn't done anything since The Hangover.
Except these stupid-ass reality shows.
Right. But you got to make a statement because You're allowed to because you're on the right side of the politics when it
In
comes
your
to
own
these networks.
damn mind. So
The
there
hell
you
with
go.
Whoopi, the hell with Ken, the hell with Robin Thicke.
There you go. Thanks, kids. Glad you hung out with us.
See what happens when Dave pulls me back in? We were going to have a nice, normal, quiet, calm ending.
Drop us a line. Share it with your friends. We'll talk to you next week.